Hi, today I want to talk to you about conquering Plan B, growing through adversity or difficult situations. In our last video, I talked with you about letting go of the outcome. That's hard, I know, and we've had some discussion on our Facebook page about how difficult that can be. But why is it so hard? One of the main reasons is because we don't like the truth. We don't want whatever it is to be the way it is, right? I had a friend who had a college student who was a star athlete, loved his son, beautiful child, good Christian, die in a car accident. And this man couldn't believe that this happened to him. And he believed with all his heart that God was going to raise his son from the dead. He said, this shouldn't have happened. I can't believe that God would cut off this wonderful young man's life so short. Surely he has a miracle here. And yet day after day, his son remained dead. And there was no resurrection. And eventually there had to be a funeral. His father resisted letting go of his wished-for outcome. He wanted his child to live because to do so would involve accepting the truth that his son died. He would have to face his pain and grief. You see, as soon as he accepted reality, my son is dead and God's not raising him from the dead. God's not going to do what I thought he would do. He's not going to do a miracle. He's not going to resurrect my boy. Now my challenge is, how do I live with Plan B? I don't want this reality. This isn't the way I thought my life or his life was going to turn out. This dad didn't want to live with reality or in truth. Understandably, but this was what the reality was. And that resistance to truth, that reality, is our biggest obstacle. Whether we do this in big ways like my friend did or just in small ways, we get stuck resisting reality and truth. We say things like, it shouldn't be this way. This shouldn't have happened. I can't believe this happened. I didn't sign up for this. I can't accept this. I won't accept this. Now, we do this in many ways, big ways and small ways, throughout our day and throughout our life. And because we get stuck in our own resistance to truth and reality, we can't move forward to figure out or embrace a plan B to our situation or to our life. Let me give you a small but humorous example that I used to use with my counseling clients who were stuck and not accepting reality. I'd hear them often say, I just can't believe this is happening. I can't believe it's happening to me. So this is the story, or they'd say, this should not be happening to me. So this is a story I would kind of work them through. So I'll do it with you on the video. Let's say that you're homesick with a terrible flu, vomiting, diarrhea, you're as sick as a dog, and there's no toilet paper left in your house. No Kleenex, no paper towels, no wipes, nada. So you're sitting on the toilet, angry that your husband didn't get around to go to the store yesterday like you asked him to replenish your paper supplies. You're angry. And you're sick that you're all alone and no one is here to run to the store for you for toilet paper. You're fuming that you can't reach anyone on your cell phone to help you. This should not be happening. I can't believe my husband forgot to go to the store. This is ridiculous. I can't believe this is happening to me. God, what am I going to do? All the while, you're sitting on the toilet with a big problem. You have no toilet paper. So what are you going to do here? What is your plan B? You see, you cannot even move to plan B mentally or emotionally. You can't think of what else you might do to solve your problem until you accept the outcome of what is. There's no toilet paper. The fact that plan A, I should have toilet paper in my house, isn't going to happen. What you think should have happened or what you wished would have happened isn't going to happen. So now what? Now you may not like all your alternatives, but once you make that mental shift from what isn't to what is, you are now in a position to move into owner mode. Remember we talked about this a few videos back? We are owners of our one precious and wonderful life. And yet so often we live as victims of circumstances that we can't change. Victims of other people's poor choices, or victims sometimes of our own mistakes and poor choices. Scott Peck is a psychiatrist who wrote a great book, which I'm going to do a book review on it for Conquer next year. The book is called The Road Less Traveled, and the first sentence of the book opens up with this statement: life is difficult. It's true. Jesus tells us the same thing when he says, in this world you will have troubles. But so many of us refuse to accept that life is difficult. We resist and think that life should be easy, or at least easier than it is. And therefore we resist difficult and get stuck in that resistance and that anger that life is difficult. But what you choose to do with difficult and how you see difficult makes the difference between an owner who tackles difficult and solves a problem that difficult brings, or a victim who feels overwhelmed by difficult. You see, owners determine how they'll respond to life. I have no toilet paper. Now what am I going to do? Victims react to life and feel trapped by it. It's not fair I have no toilet paper. I'm a victim of someone's thoughtlessness or forgetfulness or irresponsibility. Owners shape circumstances to create new outcomes. I'm going to have to be very creative today in how I'm going to clean myself. Victims are shaped by their circumstances and feel helpless to change. They sit on the toilet and cry. Keep trying to call someone to help them. Victims live feeling trapped by their circumstances. There's nothing I can do until someone comes home and goes out and buys some toilet paper for me. Owners are problem solvers and strategists. They figure out how to move through their circumstances or live in their difficult circumstances in the best possible way. They're always thinking of plan B because you never know when plan A is going to fail, and you do need a backup plan. I think stories are always the best way to understand difficult teaching, so let me just share one more with you. I've shared this story on the Conquer Call a while back in response to someone else's question, but it's such a good illustration of letting go of the outcome and finding a plan B that I'm going to share it again. It's not my story. I read it in a newspaper probably 20 years ago by Ann Landers, or the Dear Abby column. And it was by a woman who was finding life difficult. She had given birth to a Down syndrome child, and she said, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't want this kind of baby. I'm in my early 20s. I'm not supposed to have this kind of child. This isn't supposed to be happening to me. And as she was resisting the reality of difficult, she had a Down syndrome baby, she said, what am I supposed to do? I can't attach this baby. I don't love this baby like I should. I feel horrible as a mother. And so Ann Landers gave her this story. She said, I want you to imagine that you signed up to go to Italy. You were all excited about going to Italy. You packed your bags. You got your passport. You went to Italy. You were looking forward to the Italian food and the Italian atmosphere and all that. And when you got off the plane, you realized you weren't in Italy after all. You were in Holland. And you never wanted to go to Holland. You don't have any interest in being in Holland. You don't like Holland. And you're sitting in the airport really upset that you were signed up to go to Italy and you don't get to go to Italy. And so you're trying to get back to Italy and you're angry and there's no ticket back to Italy. Planes are canceled. You can't get back to Italy. And you're sitting in the airport with your suitcases crying and crying and crying. I hate being in Holland. I hate being in Holland. I hate being in Holland. You may not like your present reality. You may think, just like this woman, I didn't sign up to go here. Holland, your marriage, your current living arrangements, the situation with your children, your present employment, your weight, sitting on the toilet this way. You don't have what you need for something urgent in the present moment like toilet paper in our other story. But you do have a choice. You can sit angry that you're stuck in Holland, in what you think is unfair reality and should not be happening to me, or you can accept it. I'm in Holland. This is my reality now. What are my choices? What's good about Holland? What are my plan Bs? What steps can I take to solve my problem I face in my current reality, even if I don't like that reality? Last Saturday on September 10th, I put some verses up on our Conquer page. I've been doing that for a week or so, and it's blessed me, and I trust it's blessed you too. The verses I put up there were from Romans 5, James 1, and Hebrews 12. And they talked about how difficult strengthens us, matures us, sharpens us, and builds our character. But only if we cooperate with difficult, right? For some people, difficult makes them bitter, not better. And I agree, no one likes difficult, nor does anyone sign up, hey, I'll take a class on difficult right now. But when God frustrates your desired outcome, or he thrusts you in a situation of adversity, whether in little ways like having no toilet paper, or getting lost on your way to an important meeting, or big ways with the death of a child or marriage, a diagnosis of cancer, we will either surrender to reality and to God, or resist and stay stuck and miserable. Once we surrender, not as a helpless victim, but as a co-creator with God, and how this new reality will now shape us and mature us and strengthen us and call forth new character, courage, and new creativity so that with God, we can create plan B for our lives. So I want you to spend a few moments thinking about what character muscles is God trying to develop in you, not in spite of difficult, but because of it. Can you surrender the desired outcome of what you wanted to God and co-create with him in the process so that you will grow to be a woman of strength and dignity, the woman that God wants you to become through difficult? And if not, what's stopping you? Until next time, God bless.